Hey, it's Matthew Rice, Fairway Independent Mortgage, and today I wanted to come on and do a little bit of kind of behind the curtain, behind the scenes of some of the headlines that are out there today related to the economic news. If you look on the surface just at the headlines today alone, things look extremely dire, very down. Looks like the economy is going to be completely in the tank for a long time. But I want to give some encouragement and encourage you to dig a little deeper, look at the information behind the headlines so you can get a real good picture on what's really going on. So to start with, let me just take one headline that I got this week. Goldman Sachs forecasts the largest GDP decrease in over 100 years. On the surface, that sounds really scary. Largest decline in gross domestic product in over 100 years. So when you dig a little deeper into this article, though, there are some really positive things here. So what's not in the headline is that the third quarter of this year, Goldman Sachs predicts a 12% growth to the GDP. In the fourth quarter, they predict another 10% growth. So when you look at that on the surface and that we're having this biggest decline in 100 years, the headline alone doesn't mention that the bounce back is predicted to be fairly quickly. Third and fourth quarter of this year, kind of a V-shaped graph instead of a long, prolonged trough of a down economy and staying low for a long time. Quick bounce back is predicted by Goldman Sachs. So you guys just got to read beyond the headlines. Another one, the Fed president predicts 30% unemployment. When you go in and look at the actual comments from the Fed president, that's not what he said. He said that he could foresee up to a 30% unemployment rate. So that's a little different than that he predicts a 30% unemployment rate. So he also commented that this is a planned shutdown of certain sectors of business. So a lot of this is planned and not pushed down by other economic factors. He also sees the third quarter as a transitional quarter, and that the fourth quarter and the first quarter of 2021, in his words, could be quite robust and may even be boom quarters. That's very good news for if you look beyond a few months. You look into the end of the year, into next year, boom quarters predicted by the president of the Fed. So this is not 2008. This is not a prolonged situation based off of a myriad of economic factors where housing is driving the downturn. This is a pandemic. It is completely different. This recession is probably more closely tied in with the dot-com bust, where we were driven by some fear of what's going on in the economy as opposed to a housing-related push downward and some of the economic factors. If you look back at that early 2000s dot-com bust, housing fared very well. For the three years after, we had 8.8% appreciation, 6.6%, and 8.5% right after that. So I anticipate that as soon as we turn the corner on the coronavirus, the economy is going to snap back very quickly. I think housing is in a great spot for this. I think housing will actually pull us through this. We're finding more and more ways to continue to get things done in the housing market. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing out there. Just want to encourage you that when you see some of these dire headlines, read the detail. Read in to get all the information. Don't just rely on the sensational headline that seems to sell the news. If I can help with something, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. If you find this video helpful, feel free to share it with anybody you know as well. Thanks.